Hey guys, I wanted to share the story of how God called me to Charlotte because there's a narrative here, and I hope it encourages you. But this goes back a while. We go back to 2007 in July. God started me on a 7 year desert experience. And it was very, very, very hard. And when He started to bring me out, it would end in July of 2014, but in April, God started to show me the number 8 and the number 828. Now, when He did this, it took me like 4 to 5 weeks. Now, my confidence was really low, but it's like I've never seen numbers like this before. But, after about 5 weeks, I'm like, God, are you trying to say something to me? Because my confidence was really low. And you know God did start to communicate to me. And I was going to a church called Life Community Church, and there was this friend of mine there, Pam Higgins, and she spoke a word into my life where there was power in it. God did something in this, and one of the things she started to communicate to me. This took place in June of 2014, and she said, "Your 7 years are coming to an end. The reason the Lord gave you the number 8 is because He's getting ready to do something new in your life." And I was just like, "Whoa!" And then she started to go on to say, "The Lord's going to give you a double portion. He's going to help you to minister in the Word. He's going to give you words of knowledge." He was gonna, this was interesting, and I didn't know what to do with this. You're gonna be able to go into people and take the illness out of them. And I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, you're gonna know how to speak Hebrew. So when and there was other things. When I left that moment and that time, I got in my car and I started weeping. And I started thinking to myself, I was like, God, could you use me? Like I was just that low. But the Lord, there was something when she spoke this word, something started to ignite in me. I started to have more hope, and I started to really go after the Lord. And then that July, I would come out of the 7 year desert experience. Well, then I'm looking at the month of August coming up, and I'm like, well, it's the 8th month. I was like, Lord, are you going to do something in August? Are you going to show me something? Are you going to tell me something? So I'm praying into this, and it's probably around July 25th. And I called a bunch of people I knew, asking them about, hey, do you know of any churches that have pastoring positions open? But I called a friend of mine, Dave Warren, um, and Dave didn't call me back that day or the next day. And he said, I would have totally called you back. He called me back on August 1st in the afternoon on the 8th month of the year. And I was just like, that spoke to me. And the funny thing is, when I called him the day before, he was crying out. He's like, Lord, I can't do this new ministry venture you've given me. I need more. I need more people. So help me. So it was like God was working in both of our lives. Well, anyway, on September 22nd of 2014, Dave sent me an invitation to be a part of Forerunners of America. I got the email at 8:28 a.m. and I'm just like, what? And pretty powerful. And it's really spoke to me. And I was like, Dave, did you mean to send that at 8:28 in the morning? He's like, oh no. He's like, why? And I go, you remember the Lord gave me the number 828? And he's like, no. He's like, I sent it because I was going to go spend time with the Lord, and I knew you had to be at work at 8 or at 11 o'clock that day. So pretty powerful. Well, here's the last thing I want to talk about this first part of 2014. Um, Before I left, I was really sick when I was leaving Wilmington. It was like every time I ate, it was like sludge going around in my digestive system. I felt like a 70-year-old man. I just was sick. And I left and I said, God, I'm coming for you. I believe that you're going to heal me. I believe you're going to take care of me, but I'm coming because I don't know what to do with what I got, but I'm coming. And I left on October 14th of 2014. Okay, that first part's done. Now let's go to 2017. I just got back from Costa Rica doing ministry, and I start to see the numbers, the number 8 and the number 828. And I'm like, but this time it only took me like within a week to pick up on what was going on because it was the same as it was, like 3 years ago. And I was like, whoa. I was like, God, what are you saying to me? So I go on the road. I had a month long trip on the road, and I stopped off in Wilmington, North Carolina. I saw my family and also was connecting with others and doing some ministry. And my family's talking to me, and my dad's like 83, so he's getting a little bit older. And I just started to think and was wondering, I'm like, Lord, are you asking me to move back to North Carolina? So I started praying through it, but I didn't really get a sense about Wilmington, North Carolina. I looked at Raleigh, I didn't get a sense. And then I realized Charlotte, North Carolina is only 3 hours away. And so I was like, well, that's pretty close. There's an airport there and all that. I was like, so I started praying, and I started getting this real deep sense inside that the Lord wanted me to go to Charlotte. So it was in July. I'm really believing at this point that God is calling me to Charlotte. I get back from the trip. I share with Dave and Renee. Um, and, just something was stirring. And so it was one Saturday morning, and Dave was asking me again, what's the Lord talking about on this? And I shared, and it was starting to really come out. I think he was starting to realize, hey, there's something here. And I invited Dave and Renee in to pray about it as well. Well, Dave goes, why don't you on Monday share with the rest of the staff? So anyway, that night I'm getting into bed and I'm just thinking through everything, and then the Lord finalized it for me. It was very powerful. And he brought me back to, Brent, you left Wilmington, North Carolina, October 14th, 2014. You're leaving October 14th, 2017. Your 3 years of training are over. I gave you the number 8, which is I'm doing a new thing in you, and I'm moving you to Charlotte, and I want to use you in powerful ways. I'm going to give you more of my spirit to carry out the things that I've told you that I'm going to do in you. And all of a sudden, I was like, whoa. And I've seen God doing these things in me, and he's doing amazing things in me, and it's been growing. And as I've been faithful, he gives me more. And as I'm faithful, he gives me more, because this is how he operates. But now I feel like it's going to come in a greater way. Well, anyway, I couldn't fall asleep for 5 hours that night. It was awesome. And so there's this expectation inside of what God is going to do, and I think it's going to be awesome. So anyway, I wanted to encourage you guys that God is doing something great. He wants to do this in all of us. But when I look at this narrative of how he's brought me along, 7-year desert experience gives me the number 8. Hey, I'm doing a new thing, and that's exactly what he's done in the last 3 years. And then he gives me the number 8 again and shows me your 3 years of training are over. I'm going to do a new thing, and I'm moving you down to Charlotte. And let me just say something about Charlotte. One, I'm 3 hours from my family. I feel like it's a very strategic place. Of all the places that I've ministered, I can travel to and connect with people. It's just a great locality. Never even thought of that before. Also, I have some friends there like Cliff and Keo and others that I can really connect with and grow with. And so I think God has something here that's going to be very powerful. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. I pray that God would bless you. I think God's getting ready to do some amazing things. I think we're going to see some really difficult things, but we're going to see some amazing things as well. So may God bless you.